with the ball in his hands. Fans on their feet. 5, 4, Lynn for the win. Got it.
The dream season is now complete. The Golden State Warriors are the 2015 NBA champions. Their first title in 40 years.
Other big news in the world of sports, basketball superstar Kobe Bryant announcing his retirement last night, saying this season, his 20th in the NBA, will be his last.
What can I say? Mamba out.
2012至2016間 NBA 發生咗唔少大事，涵蓋咗戰術嘅轉型、球星轉會同埋聯盟管理嘅改革。咁香港甲級聯賽經歷咗一段比較平穩嘅日子之後，同樣去到呢個時期發生咗一啲大轉變，奠定咗球壇之後嘅一啲基礎。
咁今場永倫呢就有香振強受傷，由李奇補上正選嘅位置啊，而中鋒程建文呢亦都代替黃振偉打正選。咁所以得分仲有落到在周盈堅身上，呢球佢就避過晒對手，左手放籃。咁至於飛鷹就有經驗豐富倒戈嘅呂楚威搭住梁文雄呢對新嘅得分孖寶。咁為入埋呢球已經拎咗8分。咁講到3分當然唔可以講漏飛鷹嘅 Bear 啦。見到一有少少空位就即刻嚟個3分波。
That year, Phi Ying gained the addition of star player Lui Chorwei. And with their already young roster starting to mature in both skill and experience, they achieved a highly remarkable record that season.
第4節可以話係梁文雄按翻嚟嘅時間呢球就用速度壓過 Glenn Zhou 嚟個步半上籃，犀利咁但係飛鷹除咗靠梁文雄，亦都有阿威挺身而出再一次做出一個靚嘅上籃。落後嘅永倫憑住李奇嘅3分波，最近去到3分嘅距離啫，76比73而時間呢仲有24秒不過飛鷹成功做出一個防守最尾亦都靠呂楚威埋齋，結果飛鷹以79比73勝出。
咁飛鷹喺資源有限、球員人數唔多嘅情況之下，喺常規賽只係輸過俾南華，以6勝1負排喺榜首。咁佢哋可唔可以歷史性第一次攞走常規賽冠軍呢？個關鍵就取決於同樣係5勝1負嘅永倫同南華兩隊最後一場嘅戰果。
南華同永倫合演關乎常規賽盟主嘅殺科大戰，形勢好簡單。簡單嚟講，南華擊敗永倫，紅三軍就成為常規賽冠軍；永倫打敗南華，飛鷹就可以首次登上常規賽盟主寶座。
我哋掙扎嘅位唔係常規賽冠軍啦，而係如果輸咗，我哋4強係對福建嘅，我覺得容易應付啲咯。
嗰一年攞冠軍球隊咧，大部分人都係估計唔係南華就係永倫㗎啦。我哋嗰個風格就係我哋盡力去做好每一樣嘢，我哋會打好每一場嘅比賽。球隊睇唔到點解要為咗要打冠軍賽而去變一啲嘢。
教練團咧唔想球員諗得太多走線嘅問題，結果咧我哋就贏咗場比賽。飛鷹咧就以比較好嘅對賽成績捧杯嘅。
Since we finished second and Namwa finished third, the red-yellow showdown happened early in the semi-finals. Our mindset was to treat it like a championship, but we couldn't perform to our standard. South China eliminated us 3-1, and in the end, we didn't make it to the final. Phi Ying's improvement was like a wake-up call to us, reminding us that teams aren't just standing still. We can't guarantee a spot in the final every year, as new teams could emerge at any time to break the red-yellow dominance.
正當13年嘅休季期間咧，我哋教練團就做緊檢討調整下季陣容嗰陣時咧，就收到阿香嘅電話，佢話要轉投福建。福建另外咧就招攬咗幾個有經驗嘅球員，加強咗好多。我哋經過上季慘敗啦，加上飛鷹同福建兩隊嘅威脅啦，我哋就唔可以咩都唔做嘅。所以就係呢一年咧，永倫就揾咗一個具代表性嘅球員加盟。
So this is a really important part of the game. We're down by 1. Coach Ming called the timeout. There's 14 seconds left, and I knew that they were going to give a lot of attention to Tyler. Everyone in the whole stadium knew that Tyler's going to shoot this last shot.
其實我喺部署上面咧就冇話一定要由佢起手嘅，咁但係咧希望佢嘅牽引力啦，同埋佢一個咁有經驗嘅一個球員咧，係會揾到最適合嘅起手或者傳俾隊友去起手，就好似當年 Michael Jordan。佢選擇自己起手，或者佢可以交俾 Steve Kerr 去起手最後一擊咁。
最後14秒，永倫選擇後場開波，個波落喺泰拿手上，南亞用豬量去掹住佢，到底會交啊，定係射咧？余李陽幫佢做個擋，竟然抽起射個3分，哇！好大膽嘅決定啊！
Did I think he was going to hit a bank 3? No, I usually think he's going to make a swish or it's going to go right in the rim.
佢覺得順帶到佢3分，咁咪起手咯。有時球星就係咁噶啦。
即係嗰球波入完之後咧，冇話永遠啲球迷啊，對面嗰啲球迷啊，跳晒起身。
南華嗰邊啲球迷啊，想讀數啊，數俾朱亮射啊，都聽唔到。到最後我哋贏咗，哇！嗰陣時真係非常之興奮，全部人都癲晒。我又除咗件衫喺度食啊嗰陣時。
His body wasn't feeling right, and that's hence why he wasn't shooting well in the beginning. But like for once, that was the game where Tyler looked human. Okay, so I think you can see in the replay and the video, you know, I hugged him very hard. I even grabbed him. I grabbed him by the neck. I was screaming to his face, like, I told you, keep shooting the shots you're taking. Like, eventually it's gonna come. I'm like, squeeze him, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure if I talk about it now, he would hit me because like, don't ever do that again to me again. But
as a scorer, as a shooter, it's the same thing. If I go 0 for 10 and I stop shooting, does that look like I believe in myself? I'd rather go 0 for 50. So I knew as soon as I was coming up the floor, I told myself I'm shooting 3 and taking the risk. So when I came off the ball screen, had this slight opening and I shot it and went in, and the rest is history.
That's probably one of the greatest comeback wins of my career in Hong Kong, and probably one of the greatest comeback wins in the Wingland club history as well.
From that point, when we win a game like that, it would really be hard for South China to win the next game because now the momentum was on our side. For me, that game winner led to our momentum in the second game in the final.
余李陽呢邊空晒3分，呢球係余李陽第3球3分波啊！射到咁準，仲放佢啊！連後備嘅陳可甜試射都有。余李陽今場着晒火啊！但係佢一個攻入咗7個3分波。永倫順利擊敗南華，繼2018年，終於再次捧起銀牌錦標。
Great. It's been a while. How you doing? Great, great. How's everything?
我點識 Tyler 嘅咧？就係有一啲打開自己搞嗰啲聯賽嘅球員同我講啦，就話有一個鬼仔加拿大嚟嘅，就攞好多分嘅喎，每次比賽都。咁我就問佢攞咗佢嘅電話，呢個就係 Tyler 嘅電話。咁我就約佢大家見面。當時咧佢都係第一次嚟香港，咁我就喺洛克道1號希順樓嘅洛克道嘅麥當勞等佢，佢咧就去咗銅鑼灣廣場嘅麥當勞等我，咁大家等咗好一段時間先通電話，咁我就叫佢唔好喐啦，我就即刻坐車過咗去銅鑼灣廣場嗰度見佢，咁大家傾，我就邀請佢加盟，咁一説即合。Tyler 嘅故事就由呢度開始啦。
So Tyler, anything you miss about Hong Kong?
Definitely some of the food I miss for sure. Being home, you know, still training, but not having any game action. You know, I missed the atmosphere and the game action of playing in Southern and Queen Elizabeth with my teammates. You know, I still have the excitement thinking about some of our wins and losses. You know, some of the games that I wish we could have got back, I think about a lot too. So, yeah, all in all, I'd definitely say I still miss that energy of playing in the important games here.
So when I first came to Hong Kong, initially it wasn't to come play basketball. I just finished playing 4 years in Europe, and I really thought I was going to be done playing basketball at that point. I had a very good friend here in Hong Kong who had been begging me to come visit. So when I did, you know, I loved Hong Kong and actually had a job opportunity through them, and I thought that was going to be my path, but things changed and basketball started becoming everything in Hong Kong.
2014年咧，泰拿係以一個居港嘅球員嘅名額咧，就喺南總嗰度註冊嘅，咁啊成為永倫嘅球員。咁我哋當然知道啦，佢係勁啦，喂，佢喺加拿大嘅籃球界知名度好高噶嘛，咁佢又打過奧運嘅外圍賽啦，打過德國嘅職業聯賽啦，打過 NCAA。咁啊，因為咁樣嘅關係咧，我哋就一直好期待咧佢正式落場，咁啊親眼見識佢嘅功力。嗰日一如以往啦，就通常打弱隊咧就少啲人嚟睇㗎啦。咁但係有入場嘅人咧，又好想睇佢有幾勁。不過開賽嘅第一節咧，好似麻麻地喎。最後佢喺第一節咧入咗4分，咁啊有2球係罰球嚟嘅，其實唔係好差㗎，不過冇特別咯。
You know, it's the first game, just coming out, kind of watching how things were. I had no idea like what the games were going to be like, you know, and I'm the new guy, I didn't want to just come in right away. And yeah, I think I was just kind of in cruise control and just, you know, a lot of players, you just come in, ease your way into things at first.
當第3節佢出翻嚟嘅時候咧，就係我哋想見到嘅畫面。
佢好似就係一個機器咁咯，你俾波佢就接跳射，不斷咁重複做嗰樣嘢，而你係掹唔到，
全部都係咁喺度，哇！咁啊開始所有人都好興奮，就係嗰場波我哋全部嘅球迷、其他嘅觀眾就留意泰拿嗰種嘅恐怖、嗰種嘅厲害。
最後佢喺呢場只係上陣咗2節多少少啫，就已經攻入咗全場最高嘅33分。咁泰拿變成其他球隊最麻煩嘅對手。嗱，除咗有3分嘅能力，佢速度快，突破能力強，可以選擇爆入籃底，自己終結又得，分波出嚟俾隊友又得。咁就算揾幾個人夾擊佢都冇用。
嗰年咧，阿香帶住福建淘汰咗南華，就入咗總決賽。
我哋係完全輕鬆啊！咁嚟到其實大家都好有衝擊嘅，你見到落到場係乜係唔到，即係佢做乜嘢都得，所以我哋嗰年係非常輕鬆，我覺得。
對泰拿嚟講，成個場入邊咧最了解籃球嘅一個人嚟㗎，因為佢以前都係打職業嘅，到後期咧佢好多時都會參與一啲比較指揮性啊或者助教嘅工作嘅。
喺泰拿未出現之前咧，90年代嘅威敏咧，一直被譽為係甲一史上最強嘅外援。
咁啊，泰拿無論喺速度啊、得分能力啊，同埋閱讀球賽嘅能力咧，我甚至乎覺得超越咗阿威敏嘅。
Despite being heavily targeted by opponents, he scored the game high in all 3 games. As an MVP, he guided us to a 29-1 record to complete the 21-4 season.
南華會咧，當時阿楊退休啦，咁跟住阿峰亦都係退咗休啦。咁阿挺咧亦都打 CBA 啊，兩邊都走嚟走。咁我哋係好需要一個領袖嘅。咁幸好咧係阿 Nathan 嘅出現。咁 Nathan 咧其實南華會後期嘅成個班底都係阿 Nathan 幫手去組織嘅。你見我哋有好多位球員都係嚟自加拿大嘅。
So before I came to Hong Kong, I did know Nathan. I actually knew his older brother before him with his brother who was playing at University of British Columbia at UBC.
And I've always looked up to him, you know, he's such a legendary player where, you know, back in my home country in Canada. So yeah, it was, once I knew I was facing him coming up in Hong Kong, I had a huge task. This is probably going to be one of the biggest tasks of my career, was to match him and compete.
So yeah, Nathan, obviously he's a very cerebral, super smart player. You know, a very solid defender, and on top of that, obviously a knockdown shooter, really knows his spots, can really turn a game with his shooting ability. But I would say his biggest strength is his basketball IQ.
Tyler 同余理洋嘅出現咧，令到甲級聯賽有一個風氣上嘅轉變嘅。我諗無論係報章啦，或者球迷都好啦，咁啊紅黃大戰嘅主角咧，再唔係聚焦喺羅爾廷啦同埋潘志豪身上。
咁除咗泰拿同余理洋之外，另外兩個中鋒惠龍兒同埋何師福嘅表現，橫跨整個賽季都相當出色，完全係提升咗成個聯賽嘅質素。咁亦都因為咁咧，多咗球迷留意翻本地籃球，咁令到藍總即刻草擬放寬外援制度，去進一步提升大家嘅競爭力。
第二節嘅賽事，南華呢球轉守為攻啊，余理洋壓住周盈堅放籃成功。呢球快攻咧，由相對比較少射3分嘅泰拿咧，以3分結束攻勢。半場完，永倫領先11分。而余理洋呢節都有9分嘅進帳，南華全場咧就首次領先。而泰拿第4節開局亦都幫永倫打出11-2嘅攻勢。永倫咧有隱憂嘅，就係內線球員過犯前身啊！阿賈啦、何師福同埋程建文都4犯在身，但係永倫繼續有泰拿撐住，佢拎咗全場最高嘅31分，都有幾好嘅優勢啦。但係現時第一中鋒登勤搏埋何師福5犯離場。梁少華第2球罰球炒咗，未能夠追平。阿挺拎翻進攻籃板，但籃底竟然係射唔入啊！咁輾轉之間呢，就落咗喺余理洋度，諗都唔諗2分起手中啊！南華反超前1分，得翻7秒咋。最後一個攻勢，泰拿攞唔到波，周延堅誤射，俾翻喜奇柏環焗住出手彈翻出嚟啊！咁啊，最終南華反勝追平，場數1-1。咁嚟到第一節最後一擊㗎啦，余理洋啊 call 阿登勤做個 2-man game。第一節完啊，永倫係領先21-18。羅爾廷喺24秒前出手，命中中距離。呢段咧，南華係一度打出9-0攻勢嘅。咁至於永倫馬上就調整翻啦。呢球泰拿俾到 weak side 嘅潘志豪，潘志豪再突破分波，俾到伊人仲搏埋 and1， 有明顯優勢啦。咁啊，見到永倫領先緊咧，都係靠晒何師福喎。今場嘅表現壓過咗惠龍兒㗎，全場攻入最高嘅21分。咁當然仲有老將周盈堅啦。入埋呢一球最耍家嘅 Abinanda 幫永倫鎖定咗勝局啊，贏75-62，場數永倫領先2-1。第二節嘅賽事啊，陳少榮呢球咧就係揾到徐遠成啊，咁佢冇俾到過底嘅泰拿選擇自己嚟，不過最終就俾翻泰拿。余理洋失咗位啊，泰拿空晒嘅 long two 中啊，最後一個攻勢啊，周延堅轉身俾 Nathan 拍走咗個波。呢球緊逼之下咧有啲甩手，不過好在執翻又射得入喎。咁半場完，南華係領先4分。咁啊睇翻呢一球啦，登勤夠勤力啊，自己偷到波。咁啊甩甩漏漏之下，仍然係俾翻登勤輕鬆啊上籃啊！永倫嘅泰拿咧雖然繼續有好表現啊，攻入全場最高嘅28分。咁但係除咗佢同埋周盈堅之外咧，其餘球員發揮未如理想啊！最終南華係贏88-70攞。陣容今場永倫將陳少榮取代李奇啦，而開局唔錯嘅南華就冇變，余理洋第一次3分起手就中啊！今個系列賽咧，惠龍兒登勤毫無疑問係 MVP 人選之一啊！中距離都難佢唔到啊！南華一開始就打出11-2嘅攻勢，咁眼見唔對路咧，泰拿都挺身而出啦！呢球自己勤力攞翻個波啦，自己殺埋上籃，第一節佢就拎咗9分啊！ 唔好忘記啊，佢喺代表永倫第一場比賽對超敏係9射8中3分。咁見到咧有半秒出手空間就抽起啊！永倫追成1分波。成個系列賽表現麻麻地嘅羅爾廷咧，今場都有啲神來之筆啊！咁鄧勤高位幫佢做個單擋啦，製造到空位出嚟就起手3分啊！呢段時間兩隊係互有領先嘅，能唔能夠以贏波作結，就要問對家王牌泰拿。半場佢已經入咗26分啊！咁自 Game 3咧多咗做控球工作嘅余理洋啦，呢球帶到上前場啦。咁啊，俾到登勤亦都引咗何師福出去咧，梗係強攻內線啦。入埋加罰呢段時間，南華係一度領先8分波啊！咁啊，諗住揸住半隻獎杯啦，但係永倫嘅反擊就係由泰拿策動啦。全場係靠晒佢一個㗎啦，擺明係強攻你嘅。咁呢球咧就殺到入去，4個人圍住佢都阻佢唔到第二時間上籃。咁當南華嘅球員啦全力守住佢之際，永倫其餘球員就 step up。陳少榮45度嘅3分追到71-75啊！永倫繼續係以泰拿策動攻勢嘅，呢球殺到埋去自己就唔上噃，突破分波。今次係另一個射手李奇啊，全場佢5射3中3分，永倫打出7-0嘅攻勢，反超前3分啊！唔少甲一球員都話華人球員根本 mark 唔到身體質素極佳嘅泰拿，佢全場不斷係搏到犯規㗎。23球罰球機會入咗21球，攻入全場最高嘅46分，最後亦都靠罰球拉開比分啊！而余理洋同埋羅爾廷齊齊射失3分啦，最終永倫係以82-78擊敗南華蜂王。總決賽平均貢獻27.6分嘅泰拿獲選為最有價值球員。
Yeah, I mean, the performance is one thing, but most importantly, we won the game. I'm so proud of my team that we stuck to our game plan. Even when the game wasn't going our way, we stayed focused, we stuck together, and we won the game when it counted most. So that's all that's important.
So huge fans are waiting for you. And what do you think about the MSVA?
Yeah, I mean, this is the most fun atmosphere that I've played in my career.
今個球季香港籃球起變化，由以往南華、永倫兩雄爭逐變成3強鼎立。新升班嘅東方加入，以強隊姿態角逐本地賽事。咁先睇下最具話題性嘅東方啦。上屆強陣攞到甲2組嘅冠軍，攞到升班資格之後啊，就更加大肆擴軍。從永倫羅致李奇、陳少榮、方誠義同埋潘志豪等嘅主力。嗱，本地籃球員即使係打強隊啊，一般都唔係 full time 㗎，唔少都有正職在身。咁但係東方以職業身份出戰，球員全部都係全職打波，係香港歷嚟第一支嘅職業籃球隊。
其實即係我哋作為首支嘅職業隊咧，咁喺練習嘅量啊，或者係球員嗰個本身訓練嘅內容都調整咗啦。咁我自己就期望可以
咁嗰陣時，我哋14、15攞咗冠軍之後咧，其實喺我哋球迷嘅角度就覺得，哇！我哋隊波應該係甲一最強啦。咁我哋有泰拿啦，有伊人啦，有潘志豪、周榮堅、方誠義，另外仲有我哋2位新嘅球員上就係李奇、陳少榮。咁同埋我哋嘅板凳深度係好深啊！咁其實喺我哋覺得就係應該未來我哋攞冠軍冇問題啦，一定 OK 嘅。
但係完咗季賽幾日後，我哋已經知道阿嘉、邵榮同埋李奇會過東方。
I still remember Kosan's perspective was positive at the time. He'd be happy for these players to have better opportunities. But about 2 or 3 months later, when Punjil was also transferred, I guess it wasn't that easy for him to accept.
咁啊，豪絕對係我哋香港真係數一數二，甚至乎我認為最好嘅球員。如果佢就咁退落嚟咧，我覺得就真係比較可惜。同埋佢當時都係34歲，你而家嘅球員打，就算陪打到40歲都仲係綽綽有餘啦。
我都會想喺自己唔打嘅即係退役之前啦，再嘗試下去做職業球員，想睇下自己可唔可以再向前衝多少少，所以我就決定加入東方呢支球隊啦。
消息公佈咗幾日之後啦，許生係出咗一封公開信啦，係回應潘志豪離隊嘅事嘅。咁我諗記得當時一班永倫嘅球迷都好難接受嘅，亦都不斷喺度討論緊呢封信。
咁其實我睇封信嘅時間咧，我見到裏邊係其實都好平淡嘅封信裏邊啲字，但係我就睇唔到究竟佢係嬲啊，佢係唏噓啊，定係唔捨得咧？咁其實喺呢一度大家都估唔到。
以李奇、以阿邵榮嚟講，我好開心，因為佢過咗東方揾嘅錢嘅收入，比喺我哋嗰度咧10倍，生活對佢嚟講呢個收入好穩定，咁我為佢哋高興。但係我對阿豪過去咧，我覺得有啲奇怪，因為阿豪病完之後咧係好難翻到去高峰嘅。我想佢留喺度，陪住永倫成長，希望佢將來教導啲後一輩，帶領啲後一輩，因為我對佢呢個球員係好欣賞嘅。咁啊，所以我係有啲傷感嘅。整封信嘅意義就係我唔係好想留過去。
東方籃球隊嘅出現咧，我覺得對於香港嘅籃壇係做咗一個好重要嘅基石。因為其實當年我哋都行咗好多冤枉路啊，包括係喺招攬球員啦、場地嘅訓練啦，或者係其他嘅配套咧，都係即係不斷去揣摩去嘗試咯。
叫做出現第一支嘅職業球隊啦，球員啦，新嘅球員真係有一種目標啦。咦，我可以打職業，我可以攞職業薪水。咁啊，直頭係改變咗成個香港球員嘅態度咯，或者領隊都係打波嘅薪酬全部都3級跳。
即係話咧，其實亦都令到大家有更上一層樓啊！你開始要揾外國教練啊，我哋都係更加積極化嘅一個訓練啦。其實呢個與時並進，咁每個階段咧，其實都係需要有唔同嘅一啲化學元素嚟令到大家進步。
You know, for so many years, Lamwa and Winling have been battling each other for Hong Kong's supremacy of basketball. You know, we were very excited to play a new team, and you know, they obviously took a lot of players from Lamwa, Winling, both clubs, you know, left to go play for this team, and you know, we were just excited to prove that we were still the best during this time, even with this new up-and-coming team coming in, the HKBA.
While everyone was making a big deal of this newly formed professional team, Tyler and I had a different perspective.
Because I've been a professional, so I know what professional is and what isn't. I just think, yeah, like I said, just because you practice every day or, you know, put a bunch of money into something, that doesn't make you a professional team. There's a lot of other factors. How can you be a professional team if the league isn't a full-on professional league?
I have to agree that it's not the most professional team, but they're trying their best, I guess, to pay their athletes as professionals. So that was probably the only thing that was professional in that club at that moment. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
萬眾期待東方升上香港最高級別籃球賽事之後嘅第一場波。作為本港歷嚟第一支嘅職業籃球隊，東方喺季前就四出挖角啊！好似射入今場第一球波嘅方成義就係由永倫來投㗎啦。早段東方啊憑住準成嘅外圍投射一度領先㗎，鄭錦興3分線後一步起手，一樣冇問題啊！今場波啊極之具話題性㗎，東方有4名嘅球員今場係賭波㗎，包括打過 CBA 嘅潘志豪在內。
第一場暗牌反而就抽籤抽到東方，咁呢個一個好好嘅機會。自己心諗咧，一齊打咁多年係咯，對翻佢哋有啲奇怪嘅，不過出場打邊個都好，都會好出力咯。
兩隊實力都好近下㗎，亦都反映晒喺比數上面。永倫係有泰拿發揮穩定嘅水平。嗱，泰拿就係永倫上一屆攞冠軍嘅主要功臣嚟，當然要重點招呼啦。方成義封到啦呢一球。東方外援班尼斯受傷，今季都打唔到㗎啦。以全華班出戰，外線嘅實力就唔夠對方咁好。而第三節咧，外圍嘅命中率下降咗，更加係俾對方追翻比數添。泰拿交俾黃振偉嘅3分波，更加令到東方落後54-57啊！喺泰拿嘅帶動底下，永倫喺第三節就打出32-18嘅比數，但係呢一節嘅得分只係俾佢哋頭2節加埋少1分嘅啫。而黃振偉喺第三節最後一刻起手入埋，令到東方落後7分，進入最後一節㗎。
好耐冇試過初賽第一場就已經坐爆球場啦。咁樣對於東方嚟講咧，其實都係一個驗收嘅時間啦。無論係贊助商啦、媒體啦，甚至乎觀眾咧，都落足壓力睇住我哋啊，睇下一支職業嘅球隊咧，可以帶俾香港籃壇啲咩嘅衝擊咯。
美奇喺最後一節啊着晒火，陳少榮轉方向又交俾佢，又入。而之後呢一球，俾人摟咗都射得入，仲攞多個罰球添，士氣大振啦！ 佢今場波10次起手射3分中咗一半㗎，入咗隊中最多嘅19分。東方今場有4名嘅球員有雙位數字嘅得分㗎，去到最後階段就憑住鄭錦興同埋方成義射入多個關鍵嘅入波，咁穩住局面。兩個人分別有14同埋15分㗎。咁再加埋東方打氣團嘅支持，佢哋喺最後階段領先86-84，為永倫射入咗28分嘅泰拿處理最後一擊。東方保住勝局，攞到升班之後嘅第一場勝利。
In 2013, Winling had already sounded an alarm once. We brought in Tyler just in time, and he indeed helped us return to top for 2 consecutive years. But starting from the year Easton was promoted, our performance became a little bit inconsistent, creating many question marks about the team's subsequent strategies and even its future prospects.
喺3強鼎立嘅局面嘅之下啦，咁我哋只要每場比賽都集中精神，發揮應有嘅水平。除咗南華、東方之外，對戰其他嘅球隊咧，相信都可以好容易咁勝出嘅。永聯絕對有能力可以同南華、東方拉鋸。我哋當然都有打敗佢哋嘅時間啦，但係往往一去到關鍵嘅比賽，我哋就捉唔住個勝利。
永倫啦，咁啊喺尾段曾經係靠張偉康呢一球嘅3分追平，再次企喺高潮啊！但係東方咧尾段靠潘志豪撐住啦，咁啊交出咗7個助攻，包括呢一球俾到班尼斯大力嘅坐樽啊！咁啊東方最終係以73-63擊敗永倫，總決賽將會鬥南華。
再有梁少華咧，先後獲得2次上罰球線嘅機會，包括呢一球逼到徐遠成犯下 U foul啊！咁之後梁少華亦都喺關鍵時刻射入個關鍵嘅3分波，將賽事嘅形勢完全扭轉啊！永倫嘅球員最後未能夠成功反擊，最終南華以88-83反勝永倫。呢段時間南華打斷18-2嘅攻勢啊，去到最後一節，永倫都係冇乜進攻板斧啊，相反兵源充足嘅南華仍然係戰意十足。
After winning the Silver Shield in 2018, it was as if we were jinxed for trophies. Even with a 6-1 record in the regular season, finishing second and entering the playoffs, we were eliminated in the semi-finals.
東方嗌你落5犯離場，睇下永倫可唔可以能夠有機可乘啦。周盈堅強行上籃，再追正2分。時間無多啦，落後3分嘅永倫啊，可惜呢一刻出現一個嚴重嘅失誤啊，錯失攀平嘅機會。咁最終東方龍獅以79-75擊敗永倫啊，以總場數2-1晉身總決賽。
總決賽紅黃大戰嘅局面咧就唔再出現，咁啊永倫都再唔係決賽嘅常客啦。咁我諗就算當時有 Tyler 坐鎮，每場入30或者40幾分都好啦，即係對於永倫嗰個勝負都起唔到啲咩作用。
I think with myself coming, Nathan, and then after that, other foreigners coming to the league, I think it was a great thing for Hong Kong basketball. I think it raised the level a lot higher. All the teams started putting a lot more into their teams. You had foreign coaches starting to come. We could say then it started becoming more professional in that way. And for us as Winling, we've kind of been run a certain way the whole time. We didn't have the amount of time on the court, every week that the other top teams did, which was a big factor. I mean, if one team practices 10, 15 hours a week and one team practices 6 hours a week, it makes a big difference. You can't make up for unless you put in that work, right? And us as Winling, we didn't put in as much work at that as those other teams that were successful in that time.
諗住再定粒6㗎啦，永倫。不過林文奇兵啊，入埋呢個3分咧，追剩9分嘅啫。唞咗一陣之後，哇！呢一段南華不斷成功防守，反擊快攻，又偷一球，朱亮又係陳怡富，又係一個失誤啊！呢個波仲吹埋 Tyler 一個 U foul 添啊！朱亮2個罰球入晒之後咧，1分嘅分差㗎咋，又係一個失誤。陳義夫唔入唔緊要啊，成功保攬就係奇兵啊，林文琪啊，追到79平手啊，蘇柏軒單打周盈堅後轉身飛away搞掂。 仲有0.3秒開咗入嚟，最後南華以81比79贏得今季嘅總決賽冠軍。
今年係永倫成立嘅45週年，大家都知道咧，永倫球隊咧係我同阿許太成立嘅。今日講嘅時候咧，就好可惜，許太就離開咗我哋啦。去到今日能夠有呢個成績，初時係諗都諗唔到嘅。我哋只係一支參加乙組嘅球隊，我哋兩個人真係投入咗好多嘅時間、金錢，一個冇放棄嘅努力。
兩夫妻可以同一個目標一齊去做一件事，係非常之難，同埋係佢哋係非常之熱愛。咁多年裏邊係未見到任何一個行業、任何一個關係可以咁好嘅。
有個鏡頭我就非常之深刻嘅，就係許太就會幫我哋買咗好多麵包，跟住俾我哋食咗先嚟練波。許生同許太呢45年來一路好無私咁樣循循善誘啦，去教導我哋。
我入到嚟永倫其實係好唔覺佢係一隊球隊嘅，其實係一隊家庭。即係我覺得許生係好似爸爸，許太以前係媽媽咁樣。只打波係做事啊，可能到你生活上可能困難啊，你都可能會同佢傾偈啊，會分享下。其他球會嚟講係唔會有呢樣嘢啊嘛，因為球會可能就係打波。就冇好多嘅兄弟情啊、親情喺度，但係永倫就有呢樣嘢，我覺得係。
估唔到自己有機會入到去呢支球隊度效力啦，咁亦都喺裏邊打咗咁多年，亦都攞咗冠軍啦，咁大家庭咯，真係嘅。咁我諗相信每一個球員打過都感受到呢樣嘢嘅。
And then the extension of the family were our fan base, and the fan base was brilliant at that time. I think they were just getting the fan club started. It was high energy. They brought thunder to the games. They brought drums. It got rowdy. It was loud. the windows were shaking. And they came every game. It wasn't just, to the big ones. They were always there. And from that standpoint, it was like you had a relationship. It was like they were friends. They were part of the team.
Winling Basketball Club, it's not just focusing on basketball, but treating everyone equal and always being there for each other on and off the court. Also, the fan support of Winling is the best in the league, I think, hands down. The passion, the support they gave us, no matter win or loss, was always amazing. And the overall time, I've been with Winling, I'll never forget. It was an amazing experience.
作為一隊私人嘅球隊咧，可以喺現今嘅男籃持續30幾年喺甲一組嗰度奔跑咧，唔係一個易事嚟嘅。
我係非常之尊重阿許，因為阿許對籃球咧真係相當之熱誠嘅，非常熱心。帶藍會咁多年，同埋同永倫比賽咁多年，冇一場波阿許係唔會不在場嘅，佢場場都喺度嘅。咁呢點係我係相當之尊重同埋要學習嘅。
我時常講，你話我哋有11次冠軍，45年，咁其他嗰34年係點過嘅咧？咁我哋每次輸波當然係難受。但係我哋即刻馬上就繼續去諗下明年點樣做，所以我哋冇放棄過。
A team can't stay at this peak forever, nor should it. Otherwise, the entire league would just be stagnating. Now is a great opportunity to prove our resilience. As the team moves forward to another year, even if we're in a slump, we should fall forward. With our strength, we can definitely climb back to our previous position and once again lift the trophy that belongs to us. And it won't take too long.
希望永倫喺嚟緊下一個45年，除咗繼續擔當香港籃球嘅支柱同埋爭取冠軍之外，都可以同其他球會一齊透過青訓同推廣活動，幫香港籃球工業再行前一步，令成個聯賽更加專業，吸引更多國際賽事同投資，將本地籃球變成一個可持續嘅運動同埋事業。
我哋經歷過好多好開心嘅時間，我帶住球隊去過好多地方。我係好自豪呢個成就嘅，到今年45週年，但係而家自己年紀都大啦，咁希望能夠繼續去，只要自己身體好嘅時候，永遠會繼續去嘅。
誰話細登頂才耀眼絕倫？誰話像精英才得到認同？聽清我的心聲。如果這刻用盡能量丟失方向，我帶着你，縱已落後，落力追上，即管奔向，尋回我理想。我們都拼命過，都渴望過，也相同。眼神中載着了那些夢，抬頭不管誰人當觀眾，沒有披風，仍可算個英雄。來朝夢裏天空，伸手觸碰。在台上呼聲高漲，我會共你大笑道謝舊日的仗，空口這秒能無愧這徽章。我們都拼命過，都渴望過，也相同。眼神中載着了那